So today's role happens at a new gym, which is actually just a club at my workplace. And it starts pretty quick with Nyla pulling guard. And most of this round is just going to be me trying to pass her guard as she closes up and puts me into closed guard. So my objective here is I'm going to try and wedge my knee in and break open her guard, which I was able to do successfully. And I start trying to pass her legs. Start trying to go for like a smash pass, but it doesn't work, and I get back into her closed guard. Now she can attack me with things like sweeps and submissions, and so that's why she's trying to get this collar sleeve grip and angle out. But I wedge my knee in again, and I start trying to go for a weave grip pass, but she gets her leg out. She's wise to it and gets out. I try to do an double underpass, but then she frames my head and I can't get her hips up in order to stack her, which is what I would need to do to get that kind of pass. She is grabbing onto my belt, which is like a really great way to break my posture down so she can start attacking. She starts trying to like rise towards me, but I am able to get this knee cut pass right here where I get my leg free from hers, and I'm able to go into side control, and I think I spend most of the rest of the round just trying to get a slightly more favorable position. You can see my underhook on the far side. I should not have given up that crossface. It probably wasn't the best idea, but I can't remember exactly what I was thinking. I think I was just trying to get something else. So I get the crossface back. I still am in a decently controlling position, but she is very wisely like framing against my belly. She's holding my head closer instead of framing against it. And I can feel her trying to get her legs towards my hips to try and retain half guard. So I go to north-south and I switch to the other side of side control. Those aren't my undies, by the way. That's a dress that I was wearing. Underneath my gi, I was just so stupid and I didn't bring an undershirt. So I just put in my gi over my dress. Again, I switch over to the other side of side control. I really don't like have anything like going for me. I'm trying to go for submissions. I think I'm trying to like lift her near side arm. Maybe I was looking for back exposure. I don't think so. And then here I go for a grip on her collar behind her head to try and go for submissions, and the round ends. But then she very graciously lets me go to knee on belly to try and get a submission, and then I try getting a baseball bat choke. But of course, this is all after the round ended. And as I'm able to get the rotation in, she taps out to my baseball choke. And I was just remember being so exhausted. That was actually the last roll of the day. This one was the one right before that. So we're kind of going back in time as I'm sparring with Maxon here. And I just remember how fast and kind of aggressively he was going for my leg there to try and get the takedown. But he went down and I just realized that he wasn't very like stable underneath. So I just decided to push him over, and like if I got guard, great. But I'm able to actually pass and get into mount, which I'll make a note of. And here I can feel like I'm trying to like attack an Americana. I've got his legs flat, or his arm flat, but that allows him to get the bridge escape on me, and unfortunately we're back into guard now. Now I probably should have just closed up my guard, and I tried to do so, but I failed to sweep him here because I didn't pull my leg out fast enough to get a stable base, and he just gets me back on bottom. He's really trying to go for this pass here by pushing my leg down, but he doesn't really get his right leg over it or his left leg to staple pass. And so I'm able to get back to guard, and I start trying to attack maybe triangles or something. Something I'm noticing here is I should really be angling out a little bit more. But I could just remember how much weight he had on me. I was trying to go for like arm bar or something here. He actually could have gone into north-south from here, but sloppily I'm able to like posture up and get on top of him, and I enter his guard. He doesn't close his guard around me, which I think might have been a mistake on his part, because I get the knee cut pass on his right side, and he is gripping my left arm to try and keep me from like doing anything with it. keep me from trying to keep me from attacking. But he doesn't quite stop me from getting into mount, and I think it's here that I spend most of the rest of the round. I'm trying to separate his arms from his torso here so I can go for, arm locks and stuff. But he's just really aggressively trying to pull me down, which is good in some ways, but it doesn't really help him escape a ton. I decide, this might have been a little bit of a mistake here. I don't feel super stable, but I'm able to kind of get a bit of an S mount going. I give it up because I feel his arm like extending out towards me, and I realize that his right arm is vulnerable for an arm bar. So I start trying to climb up towards his head and go for S mount. He's very wisely, using his legs to push himself back so I can't advance up his body. And I get into an S mount and I try to lie down for the arm bar, but unfortunately, it's not really deep. I thought it was a lot deeper than it was, but it's not. Like, his shoulder is away from my hips here. And the alarm goes off, and I'm just trying to confirm that the round is over, which indeed it is. This last round we're going to watch is actually the first one that I did this day, and we started in back control because that was the position we were drilling that day, and I had just learned how to back escape, so I wanted to get a chance to drill it as I start falling to the non-choking arm side, and I start trying to flatten out his bottom leg so I can face him. But he's really being stubborn here. This is Doug, by the way. So Doug, I'm able to get his bottom leg flattened, but he starts moving his other leg on top of me, and he's a lot longer and taller and heavier than I am. So I can't really break his foot grip. I probably could have actually just gone back into half or back into back control and maybe squeezed his feet together for that kind of submission, but haven't really drilled it, and I knew I could just rotate towards him. So I get into this closed guard situation, and I'm able to get the escape. Now I'm trying to get the guard break here, and I'm trying to do the same thing I did with Nyla, but there was really no need. I should have just done a chair sit down like a chair, and then push his legs down off of me. Instead, I tried to wedge my knee in between his legs. But because his legs are so long and his grip is so tight, it just didn't really work. So you can see how badly my posture is broken down towards him. I try the same thing again, but I end up just getting swept.
Nice.
I'm framing on his hips. I'm trying to get back, and eventually I do get the escape. And again, I'm trying a different guard break here, pushing down on his knee, but he has me, my posture is too far broken for that to be effective. In order for that to work, I would need to be sitting up. He really tries to go for this Kimura here. He really does, but he needs to be angling out towards that side a little more, and I really don't want to give it to him. So he can actually break his guard here and start angling towards that side, but I just don't want to give it to him, and so I stubbornly put my weight on him. I can feel I'm not close to breaking or anything, and I'm able to get out of the Kimura. And again, trying to break his guard, trying to frame on his armpits and get my hips away from him. And at the time, I really should have realized that I could just start standing up. Here, he opens his guard and actually tries to get it farther up, maybe attacking a triangle. But when I realize his guard is broken, I know that this is my chance. I have to try and do something here. And so I start to try to pass towards the side his legs are on, and I almost fall. But the round ends before I'm able to get the sweep, the pass. So the lessons learned were, I spent a lot of time in closed guard, and I could really use some more time to drill some guard breaks, and also following them up with passes. It's not enough to just break open out of the guard. I have to be able to attack out of there, because otherwise I'm just going to go right back into closed guard. The next thing is that S mount is a pretty stable place to be. The reason I didn't get that submission was because his shoulder wasn't between my legs. But I could have just stayed in S mount and attacked from there. I don't think you don't really have a lot of options to escape from there. And so if I had just worked on attacking from there, I think I probably could have gotten a submission. And the last thing is that when I'm in guard, so when I'm on the bottom, I need to be angling out more to attack. I can't be staying square, which is something that I did in a couple of these rolls.